There were things that Charlamagne was willing to do that I would have never done. Never. And that's how you get to those big bags.
Yo, to have the people like the iHearts of the world want to hand you this much money.
It's the same with Stephen A. Smith, though. When Disney wants to give you money like that, you got to do a dance I ain't willing to do.
But if you had flipped it on and done the dance right, you could have got yourself a nice 10, 15.
Oh,
I think that's...
Oh, yeah.
But
I can't.
Ebro straight up called Charlamagne a sellout and a puppet. That's right. On the latest episode of Ebro, Rosenberg, and Laura, they dove into Charlamagne's iHeart deal. And trust me, this contract is dominating the conversation across the podcast world right now. Most of the chatter has been negative, and it's not just bloggers throwing shade. People in the industry, like Ebro, are coming for him too. Sure, there's a bunch of positive vibes out there, but a lot of it is coming from Charlamagne's inner circle. Think Lauren LaRosa retweeting praise or academics congratulating him. These are folks who've been riding with Charlamagne for a minute. But guess who hasn't? Someone who's been on the opposite side, actually clashing with Charlamagne for years. Yep, that's Ebro. Now, Ebro argues that to land a $200 million deal, you basically have to sell your soul to the bigwigs. This echoes when he said Hot 97 might have let him go because he wasn't playing ball with political figures like Trump, Eric Adams, or others. Fast forward to Charlamagne, he's done interviews with some controversial figures. Take Eric Adams, for example. But it wasn't messy because LA was there to challenge him, so he wasn't being shady. Candace Owens, she hit the Breakfast Club, and by all accounts, it wasn't that rough. So maybe Ebro's gripe is elsewhere. One interview that might have rubbed him the wrong way? Ben Shapiro. Ben came on and completely schooled the cast with sharp verbal tactics, even with people who know their stuff. Then there's iHeartMedia itself. If you didn't know, this network has leaned Republican since its Clear Channel days, packed with right-leaning voices, and it's connected to Fox News. Bottom line, this is exactly what Ebro is targeting. Is he hating? Absolutely. Charlamagne and Ebro have a long, wild history going back to Charlamagne's early NYC radio takeover. They've thrown shots at each other non-stop. Remember when Charlamagne exposed Hot 97 and went after Mr. C on air? Yeah, calling him gay. That was a dark NYC radio moment that Charlamagne probably regrets. Now he's all about highlighting black women instead of dragging that past. And let's not forget when Charlotte joined the Joe Budden show and hilariously recounted Ebro trying to snap a pic with Charlamagne. The drama was real.
Give me a pound. He was like, yo, my name's, such and such. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then 20 minutes later, he was asking me to take a picture. He's like, yo, fam, we gotta take a picture. And I was like, I'm not taking no picture with you.
Wait a minute.
I'm like, yo, you slandered me on the radio 100 miles per hour. You called me a coon or Uncle Tom, and you want to take a picture? And he was like, nah, I'm just saying, I never said you wasn't talented. I just said that, I didn't like what you did with Tommy Lauren. He asked me to take a picture.
Now, Ebro might push back against Charlamagne's version of events, but funny enough, it actually lines up with what Charlamagne said. Listen to this. I think Ebro was really just angling for a photo with Charlamagne to show a sense of unity after Trump's win. And maybe that's where Charlamagne's dance for the white execs vibe comes from at these big companies. Still, only time will tell if Charlamagne even responds. Over the past few years, he's taken a strategy of not replying directly, instead firing subliminal shots from the sidelines. I think he wants to avoid giving anyone a platform to blow up, like Tasha K, Poetic Flacco, or smaller podcasters. He'll throw shade but never name names, and never hand over access to his audience on The Breakfast Club. Looking ahead, this deal is going to get dissected hardcore. People are going to ask, how does he hit a $200 million valuation? Was it really Charlamagne or more of a Black Effect network play? That's probably closer to the truth. Remember, iHeart is a $600 million market cap company. I said this in a past video. Handing Charlamagne $200 million straight up with no strings attached doesn't add up. So this deal is a little opaque. We'll likely never know exactly what he pockets. By the time it's all said and done, some fine print will surface, and people will assume he cashed $200 million when it might have never truly been finalized. More likely, it's a do this, do that, maybe $200 million scenario. Now, think about Ebro and Rosenberg taking shots at Charlamagne. They've been simmering on this for a while, and now the pot's boiling with the $200 million headline, while Ebro is stuck on YouTube. Honestly, I kind of feel for him. They should be in a better spot watching their longtime rival lock in a massive deal. True or not, it's still a huge headline, and I can almost guarantee that Joe Budden shares the sentiment but won't say it because he'd look like a hater, just like Ebro appears here. That's the game. Time will reveal the real feelings, and they'll surface soon enough. All right, everybody, a lot is cooking over there. Proud of the Patreon growth. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this $200 million deal a few days later? As time passes, we can have a real conversation. Most people are on the fence, just celebrating the headline. We're here stirring the pot, pitting people against each other. Despite years of back-and-forth drama, people seem to forget NYC history and go for a sweeter rewrite. Were you there when Charlamagne exposed Mr. C's business on air? All right, y'all.